Welcome to the Top Shelf Dusters podcast. I'm Amanda. I am back because I know everyone missed me.
Not one bit.
And we have the complete crew. So tonight I am joined by Jesse.
Go Jets go.
Muted.
Go Jets go. Go Jets go. That's all I
I
got.
love it. Hi, I'm Jesse. Seattle Kraken suck.
Every one of my teams is garbage.
Depression. No race.
Still
Trashville.
can't hear you, Jesse.
Blah, blah, blah. There you go. I did it for
Something about Trashville.
They heard
we
me. You guys didn't, but they heard me. Go ahead.
Joined by Cass. It
you. I basically just said my piece in Jesse's voice. So
was fantastic. I could
playoff
not
hockey's
do
back, but no one cares because the Bruins aren't in it. Yay. So moving on.
it. And Ethan.
Womp womp. And on top of it all, I got sick last night. So
He sounds terrible.
Sick of watching the Stars lose. Speaking about terrible, Jesse, your voice is very low.
Is it? Oh, that's
for us
unfortunate.
at least.
What are we starting with? Am I starting?
You are starting, sir.
Yeah,
Great.
we're gonna cover some pre-playoff stuff first.
So, one of the teams we wanted to fire our coach, the Boston Bruins, did not yet. But Anaheim.
Well, they did
got-
earlier in the season.
That's
Yeah,
true,
that
but
happened
they-
already.
Their interim is still the interim, as far as I know. Anaheim Ducks have fired head coach. What the hell is his first name?
Greg.
Greg. Thank you. What a white name, Greg Cronin. He coached there 2 seasons, 62, 87, and 15. You hear stuff how he's not that great with the players. He's kind of old school. Just didn't seem to be really gelling with the organization. Pat Verbeek actually said Cronin was very, very shocked when Verbeek said he was going to let him go. And then Pat Verbeek must have been on some really good drugs because he said he expects his team to make the playoffs next year.
Wow.
I
What
don't know
is
how
he
you do that without a
smoking?
head coach. So,
Yeah.
who
I want
knows?
whatever he's smoking.
The carousel of coaches continue.
That's true. Yeah. And it continues to go on even further, but we'll get to that one in a second. This one is over in Vancouver. Obviously, he hasn't been fired yet or had let go or anything like that, but the mystery surrounding Rick Tocchet, head coach of the Vancouver Canucks, is still up in the air. Last week, we reported that it seemed like the team was hoping to be able to get him extended. There hasn't really been any sort of news that has come out on that. Earlier this week, he explained that he would not be joining Team Canada's coaching staff for the IIHF Men's World Championships. Do you guys think that the team is going to, with the team missing the playoffs, that they're going to try and get him an extension, or should they move on from Rick Tocchet?
It seems like everything has worked when he was there. Obviously, they had an off year with the Elias Pettersson, JT Miller stuff. They missed their starting goalie for most of the season, I would say. Quinn Hughes is obviously Quinn Hughes, which is why they stayed in it so long. I think he should get another year or two with a healthy roster and see what he can do.
Yeah, I think kind of like what you were alluding to, Jesse, with Vancouver sounds interested. Like they want to keep him.
Right.
I think it sounds to me more like Tocchet is not.
Seems a little
say he wants
hesitant.
to test the market.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
he keeps talking about the process.
There is a large availability all of a sudden, too. So there are potential places that he could land should he choose to go elsewhere. I mean,
6 hours ago, Rick Tocchet linked to Rangers as potential.
I knew that one was coming. And since we're on that topic, might as well just move on to it, right? The New York Rangers fired head coach Peter Laviolette yesterday. No replacement was named. Drury general manager Chris Drury said the Rangers will conduct an expansive coaching search and will not limit themselves to looking at only coaches with NHL experience. So it's nice to hear that, I guess, though we did shit the bed when we let go of Chris Knobloch, who's now in Edmonton. So, because he was head coach of the Hartford Wolfpack. So, Laviolette, second year as head coach of the New York Rangers, got let go yesterday. They didn't make the playoffs, obviously. I'm pretty on the fence about this one. I'm just pissed off about the whole organization in general with everything that's come out about them with the whole everything, really. It just doesn't make sense to me to let the coach go. I think that they need to figure out the roster. They should have given him another year, in my opinion. I don't know, man. The whole team just sucks right now.
I think. Okay, well, I'll mention this. I didn't put it in our notes, but I did talk to you about it, Jesse. So I was listening to NHL Network Radio the other day, and it was Darren Dreger, and he feels like there's a real possibility the Rangers are going to go get John Tortorella.
So they're going to take back JT Miller. They're going to go get John Tortorella again.
They're Control Z their way all the way.
They're Control Z their way back.
Control Z.
All the way back to 2014, right? No, that wasn't even him at the time. So,
and it seemed far-fetched. Well, I mean, he led them to a Stanley Cup final. I would call him successful in New York. And then it seemed super far-fetched, and then all of a sudden you see Laviolette is canned. So, hey.
Right after Tortorella got let go in Philly. So,
yeah.
I don't know, man.
Some other coaches that are out there. So you got Tortorella, you got Jay Woodcroft, Bruce Boudreau, Gerard Gallant.
But we've already done the Gallant experiment. So
Joel Quenneville. I know people don't like saying his name because of what happened, but Stan Bowman's GM, and you don't really hear anything about it anymore.
Right.
You get through the initial backlash and you're done. Tom said Tocchet knows Philly is ready to back up the Brinks truck for him to bring him back, basically. And Laviolette coached the Rags just like he did the Caps. He sucks. I'm going to disagree with Tom. Sorry, Tom. I would love for the Bruins to bring in Peter Laviolette. You know, Don Sweeney loves the local guy. He's somewhat familiar with the organization. He was coaching their AHL team, albeit almost 20-something years ago. They won the Calder Cup in 1999, their only Calder Cup. With the roster that they have and what you can see Laviolette getting out of a team for the first 2 years he's there, if the Bruins are going to go into some type of like mini rebuild, why not bring in a coach who knows how to get the most out of players and see what you can do? So that's where I'm at. And the other thing is, like, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, I believe the name David Carl comes up a lot, the coach from DU, Denver. We always talk, like, why would you want to leave a successful organization to go coach in the NHL, like Buffalo or San Jose? New York is a team you might want to go coach. Like, they're not horrible. And they definitely won't be horrible because they don't, the ownership doesn't want them to be, and Troy doesn't want them to be. So you're going into a situation where you have the ability to be successful, especially because New York and Boston both have the ability to pull in some free agent name usually. So it'll be interesting to see if you see a Carl or the Quinnipiac coach who's been very successful, or even a Jay Pandolfo. I would love for the Bruins to get him. I don't think he would, but we'll see what happens.
I would love to
I think the Bruins going for sorry.
You're good.
The Denver coach, you just said his name,
Carl. Yep.
I think that would be great for Boston because they are clearly about to hit a period of time where they're going to have a bunch of young guys, that need direction.
Or Pandolfo, he's been at BU for 2 years. He's had success there. He was the Bruins' assistant coach. He left to go be the head coach at BU. It's just the consideration of if he's going to leave where he is right now to go somewhere where he might not have success. And the Bruins have gone through 3 head coaches in the last 5 years, right? So.
Yeah, I know that pain.
There. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What were you gonna say, Jesse?
I would like to see the Rangers go for somebody that hasn't been in the league. The coaching carousel hasn't worked. I feel like they should try and see what they could find in the AHL, maybe any of the other leagues where coaches have had success, just to test and change things up a little bit. Because the way things are going in New York, they have not been playing well. That's not true. They have not been meeting the expectations that they have had. Last season, I thought they played very well, but 5-on-5, they just have not been good. They need to figure out something to fix their 5-on-5 game. They need to reassess the power play situation. It was not good this season. Their PK it seemed like their PK had a lot more goals than their power play did over the last couple of games. I think that the ability for them to find somebody outside of the NHL is going to be a little bit more prosperous and probably more fulfilling than going with the same guys who just haven't had success elsewhere in the NHL.
The other thing you have to keep in mind is Peter Laviolette brought them to Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Final last year.
I liked him, dude.
The team did have a drop-off this year, and I don't know
It was
if
them.
I necessarily put it all on Laviolette.
No.
Like, they traded Capo Caco. They kind of gave up on him. He seemed to do pretty well in Seattle when he was there.
They got rid of Trouba, Kako, Philip Hedl, Ryan Lindgren, and Jimmy Vesey. They brought in Will Borgen, JT Miller, Calvin DeHaan, who had that issue apparently that we were talking about last week, and Juuso Parssinen. So I mean, like they've brought in some people, but they got rid of some pretty key guys aside from Jimmy Vesey. I liked him on the fourth line. I think that they have the ability to beat a much better team, but they need to figure out that top line. They need to break up Kreider and Zibanejad. I don't know what the deal is with those two. This season they were not good, so they need to figure something else out here, man.
I think they need someone who's gonna. They need leadership in the locker room. I think that locker room with all the ins and outs. You know, you've just lost your head coach. You've got all these moving pieces. You've got the DeHaan stuff coming out. You've got the Panarin stuff.
The Panarin stuff we didn't even
that came out.
Yeah,
the locker room is just all over the place, and I think you need either a head coach who's not going to take any crap from the GM. He's going to stand up, and trust me, I know about this stuff because I'm a Cowboys fan for football, and we will never have a head coach that will stand up to Jerry Jones because they want to keep their job, and it's going to cost the Cowboys probably another decade of no Super Bowls.
Thank God,
at least hopefully.
The Rangers need someone in that locker room who's going to take care of business.
Well, that's, I feel like, what happened with Gallant, and that's why he got ousted a couple seasons ago, because there were reports that there was a pretty big falling out with them, with Gallant and Drury, and then he was gone. And yeah. So, I mean, if that's how you're going to deal, if that's how you're going to do business, who's going to want to deal with that, right? I mean, look at how he treated.
It's a ticking time bomb for Drury.
At some point,
the buck's going to get passed to him.
They should have never gotten rid of Gorton and Davidson, but
yeah. Alas, we move on. A couple.
Thank God. Let's not talk about them anymore.
A couple. Don't worry. I don't think there's anything else on this list about the Rangers.
Thank
and
the
probably
Lord.
won't be for the rest of
the
playoffs.
The playoffs.
Some departures and signings. So one of our first departures comes from San Jose. It is their captain, Logan Couture. He has officially retired. The writing was kind of on the wall for a while. He was diagnosed. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, but basically he had inflammation in his joint that is in between the right and left pelvic bone. I don't know how you play hockey with that. And clearly he doesn't know how to play hockey with it either because he's done. So he retires. He's got 2 years left on his contract. So he'll be living on LTIR for the next 2 years.
Unfortunate.
Kind of crazy also, because he's like the last one from that good Sharks team.
The golden
Patrick
era.
Marleau.
Yeah.
No, you still got Pickles.
Who?
Vlasic?
Vlasic's still playing, I believe.
Yeah, but not for the Sharks.
Not for the Sharks.
Oh, really?
I thought he was in Chicago, wasn't he?
You're probably right.
Yeah.
I put in Vlasic in the
and the Pickles thing comes
Vlasic
up.
Pickles.
Yeah.
One other departure
is.
from San Jose. Probably a little less sad. Alexander Georgiev.
Bye.
Informed that the team will not be seeking out an extension. Jesse, you said that you think he's going to the KHL.
He's definitely going to the KHL. What NHL team wants him? What NHL team
needs a backup?
Carolina. There you go. He's going to Carolina.
Oh.
Gonna let Kochekov ride Kochekov and then put in Forgiev when they want to lose some games. Dude, there's no way.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
doesn't make any sense. Who's gonna want to pick him up after the season he had? He was abysmal, dude.
I think he just needs a better goaltending coach.
Yeah,
probably.
put him with Tristan Jarry. That'll be great.
There you go.
Sorry. Or Edmonton. They seem to be kind of wandering around with two goalies they're not happy with.
I don't think he's going to get a contract. And if he does, it's going to be 1 year league minimum and they'll see what happens with him. But I don't know who's going to want to pick him up after the way that he played in both Colorado. Obviously, San Jose is San Jose, right? But for them to be moving on from him, like I feel like that's kind of a telltale sign of what they've got going on. But they do also have Askarov, so it kind of makes sense to me, I suppose.
Right.
So, real quick, bringing up Mark-Edward Vlasic. He's getting paid another $7 million next year from the San Jose Sharks. So it'll be interesting to see if he's a buyout candidate.
That's a lot of money for him.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on from the Sharks, David Savard of the Montreal Canadiens said that he will be retiring following the Stanley Cup playoffs. He said he played the second half of the season knowing that this would be his 14th and final NHL season. His career was extended beyond the regular season when the Canadiens clinched their first playoff berth since 2021. Savard told management and his teammates after making his decision midway through the season, but he revealed it publicly after the Canadiens practice on Friday. He won the Cup with the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2024 when they defeated the Canadiens in the Stanley Cup final, so that's funny to see, but good career for him. Hopefully he's going to be able to ride into retirement well after seeing what happens with Montreal in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Additionally, Nick Dowd of the Washington Capitals has re-signed in Washington to a 2-year, $6 million contract extension. He has recorded a career-high 27 points in 81 games this season. Dowd's 14 goals and 81 games played are also single-season career highs for him. So good for him getting re-signed in Washington.
I think that's a great value, especially when you bring up like he's riding career highs. He could have maybe tried to push for more, but I think Nick Dowd and Washington know what they have.
Right, I agree.
Right now,
yeah,
and that's a great number, especially with the cap going up.
He's 34 years old too, so I mean, by the end of it, he's going to be 36. He's probably going to be out, likely anyway. I mean, by the time that happens, Ovechkin might be gone. Capitals are going to be doing whatever the Capitals are going to be doing at that time. So I feel like that makes sense to me for that term and that dollar amount.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He's 34 years old. Ugh. I understand with the cap going up is $3 million isn't that bad, but he's 34 years old.
Hey, people said the same thing about Joe Pavelski. It's like, oh, really? Yeah. You're going to pay him that much? He's getting up there.
Oh, I can't even make a cup joke.
It's not even the same. It's not even the same caliber.
Damn it. I was going to say, well, at least Nick Dowd got a cup, but I believe he joined the team the year after. So
all I'm saying is you never know. You never know with these guys. And that's why, 2 years, it's not a long-term bet. No. $3 million, they've got cash to spare.
Yeah. $3 million is like $1.5 million in a couple of years anyway. Winnipeg signed some people. I can't, that train is hilarious. Alex Iafallo to a 3-year, $3.66 million extension. I feel like Ethan gave me that one so he could watch me screw up the name, but it's not happening.
Dude, you screwed up the 0.66.
Whatever.
Yeah, the easiest part of that.
Yeah, well, whatever. 3.66666. 82. He played a full season this year. 82 games played, 15 goals, 16 assists for 31 points. He was acquired in the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade a couple years ago. Personally, I thought he was an undervalued piece in that trade. I feel like he's a very good piece for that Winnipeg Jets team, and I'm glad to see him sign and get a couple more years out of it. He is 31. I would have guessed he was like early 20s, like middle 20s, but he's 31 years old, so he'll be 34 when this contract is over.
Good for Iafallo. He kind of found a place that they kind of like him and he kind of likes them.
Also, Winnipeg has re-signed Neil Pionk to a 6-year, $7 million deal. He is 29 right now in 69 games this year. Nice. 10 goals, 29 assists for 39 points. He was acquired from the New York Rangers.
Yes, we recall 2019
Jacob Trouba trade.
Yep.
So, nice little piece for them too.
Yeah, I was very upset about that. Yeah, and now I'm even more upset about it, all things considered. So I thought we were going to talk about the Rangers again. Let's go. Keep going.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't want to talk about them.
Going back to Montreal, something crazy happened for their newcomer, Ivan Demidov. He scored his first NHL goal on his first NHL shot. He finished the season. He played the final 2 games with the team, scored a goal and an assist in that game. So he is technically a point per game player right now.
Nice play too. Jumps right in.
Yeah,
I like this goal. I thought it
Yeah.
was really a nice one for his first
it's a
one.
great pickup. He's gonna help him.
Hopefully.
Moving on from that one, Paul Cotter of the New Jersey Devils. This happened earlier in the week. He was suspended 2 games for an illegal check to the head of Adam Pelech of the New York Islanders. The NHL Department of Player Safety announced the suspension early in the week. Cotter, who had no prior history of supplemental discipline, is going to forfeit a whopping $8,073 in salary. But obviously, he's not going to miss the first round of the playoffs. They played their first game today. After officials looked for the play on video review, they assessed the match penalty. They ejected him and then gave the Islanders a 5-minute power play. Pelech was bloodied and angry after he got hit to the head by Cotter, and he was unable to make it back to the game. So obviously the Islanders are eliminated, but hopefully he's doing all right. I don't think there's been any updates on him since.
We're seeing a lot of checks to the head this season. It's weird.
Moving on to suspensions, I'm going to throw one that wasn't in here. Amanda's favorite player, Jesse Puljujarvi, was suspended 2 games for let's see, it doesn't say a legal check to the head, Tuesday, April 15th. He plays for the Florida Panthers. It's funny because he only played 5 games total for the Florida Panthers this year, and he was just suspended 2. So
Wow.
Makes a lot of sense. Nothing much to say there. I just wanted to throw that in there. Darnell Nurse was suspended 1 game for cross-checking Quinton Byfield in the head. Yeah, this wasn't good. He served his 1-game suspension on Wednesday, and he'll return for Game 1 against Los Angeles tomorrow.
I'm shocked that one was just 1 game, to be honest.
Yeah.
So they ruled in the ruling, they said that it was enough force to earn supplemental discipline, but Nurse's counter argument that the cross check was delivered without exceptional force on Byfield is what gave them the 1 game. They said the ruling was similar to one made in 2023 against Andrew Mangiapane of the Calgary Flames at that point when he cross-checked Jared McCann. So I kind of remember that. I think that makes sense.
Here's one more from the final games of the regular season. The Dallas Stars got Tyler Seguin back after he was out since December of last year after having hip surgery. He returned to the Stars and helped Mason Marchment score a goal 16 seconds into the game. And at that point, Stars fans were like, thank goodness we're back. This is all working. We're getting healthy. And we eventually lost that game, and not only lost the game, but lost Jason Robertson in the process. So much for resting your players,
Right.
Bower.
Are you worried right now, Ethan?
No, I'm not worried yet.
Not yet. Give him another game, he'll be worried.
I'll get into it more as we get to the playoffs.
We're going to move on to a couple of award winners. Winnipeg's Connor Hellebuck has won the William Jennings Trophy. It's an annual award given to the goalies who have played goalie tandem, having played a minimum of 25 games for the team with fewest goals scored against it during the regular season. Obviously, he played a shitload of games for the Winnipeg Jets.
I think it was like 62.
So his backup didn't play the 25 to qualify with him.
That's crazy.
7 goalies have won the Jennings and the Vezina Trophy in the same season. 4 have done it twice. Who are they?
Couldn't tell you.
Take a guess. Make it interesting, for fuck's sake.
Carey Price.
Okay, let's not do this. Patrick Waugh, Martin Brodeur, Ed Belfour, and Dominic Hasek.
Okay. Those names make sense.
You know, basically 4 of the best goalies of all time.
I don't want to talk about Brodeur either. Ever. Yeah. No, I love Brodeur. I think he's a great goalie. Continuing with Winnipeg, they obviously won the President's Trophy for the first time in franchise history. They are the number 1 overall seed. This is the first Canadian franchise to win the award since Vancouver did it in 2011-2012. The Canucks did not win the Stanley Cup that season, and neither have many other President's Trophy winners, but at least there's a new regular season champion banner that's going to be hung up somewhere in the league, and that way the Rangers can stop being talked about.
It's a curse. We'll see if it curses.
Go
again.
Jets, go! Go Jets, go!
Here's Jesse again cheering for the President Trophy winner.
Damn! What have I done?
We've got another award that's handed out, obviously, once all 82 games are played, and that is the Art Ross Trophy. This year, Nikita Kucherov won it again. This is his second or third? I believe it is his, third. Second in a row. So good for him. He finished with 121 points. So pretty incredible.
Also, Leon Draisaitl won the Rocket Richard.
Yes,
most goals in the NHL. So 52. Ovechkin had 44. And
Austin Matthews had 69.
Nice.
Last season.
Last season
when he won it.
Nice.
Have you guys heard people mention that the Rocket Richard should be changed to Alexander Ovechkin?
I have heard that. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Silly.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you call it?
Let the old guys have it.
Just give it to them. They're just, whatever.
The Alexander the Great Ovechkin.
The Great
Trophy?
8 trophy. I hate it. It's miserable. What do we got now? Division winners, gentlemen?
Division winners, real quick.
The division winners.
So, for the Atlantic, Toronto Maple Leafs have won the division. They had 108 points. Next closest team were the Lightning with 102. The Metropolitan Division, Washington Capitals had 111 points. The Carolina Hurricanes, the lowly Carolina Hurricanes, didn't even get 100 points.
Where they should be.
Yep. Moving on to the West, Winnipeg Jets had 116 points, all to lose in the first round. Dallas Stars were second with 106. The Pacific, the Vegas Golden Knights won with 110 points. The LA Kings were the next closest team with 105. So those are your 4 division winners.
It was close.
So hopefully you don't have to worry about them all hanging a banner like the New York Rangers did last year for the regular season champs.
Do all teams do that though?
Nope. Just
are you sure?
Nashville. I have no clue.
I feel
Dallas
like
does.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they all say regular season champs. I think they say President's Trophy winner.
President's Trophy winner.
Which is a little bit more legit.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
It just looks so horrible.
It's so
Regular
stupid.
season.
Yeah, I love being the regular season champions. That's so great. So awesome. Couple injuries happening in these playoffs. Edmonton's Matthias Ekholm is ruled out for round 1 against the LA Kings. Head coach Knobloch said on Monday, the defenseman missed 7 games with an undisclosed injury. He did return to play against the San Jose Sharks on April 11th, but he left after 2 shifts. He was initially injured in a game against the Stars on March 26th, so he's going to be out, and that's a big loss for Edmonton on their blue line.
Feel that.
Do you?
Yeah. Because the Dallas, we like I mentioned earlier, Jason Robertson, he is out. He's listed as week to week. There are actually several players that they list as week to week, but then they say out for game 1, and clearly game 1 and game 2 are not weeks apart. So I think it's going to be one of these things where it's like, is it time to push him? I don't think he will be playing in game 2, maybe by game 3. Miro Heiskanen, however, our blue liner, he's been out for quite some time. Thank you to the great Mark Stone.
Clean play.
It was quite a while ago. We've gone without Miro for a long time.
Yeah, clean play.
He's out day to day, so he could be back by game 2, more likely game 3.
And then real fast, just from tonight's game with the Canes and the Devils, game 1, the Devils had 3 injuries in this game.
Oof.
Brendan Dillon with what looks like a lower body injury, who did not return. Luke Hughes looked like his shoulder got injured, but was able to come back into the game.
He got hit.
Um,
Was that with him getting hit by the puck? Because I saw him go down.
No, he's the one who ended up in the net.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that one.
The other big one being Cody Glass, which friendly fire from Markstrom. Markstrom, in his wisdom, decided he wanted to slash Svechnikov for being in the net or near his net, which was he was nowhere near the blue circle.
All right, biased. Relax.
Ended
Can you
up
mute her?
No. You have you
slashing-
guys watched it?
I did. It
No,
was
I
brutal.
haven't.
It's
he
pretty
ended
funny.
up slashing Cody Glass dead and
Like
kicked him out.
right across the hip.
He did not
Yikes.
return for the game.
Oof. Damn.
And then he
Imagine-
tries to get Svechnikov one more time.
Yeah, he
after.
gave him like a little love tap. He's like, "Oh, you okay?" And he's like, "I feel better now."
Yeah.
It was great.
So bad.
So just to add those quick 3 in.
The
Yep.
one that got hit by the puck was Nikolai Ehlers. He suffered a leg injury April 3rd. So, which caused
Winnipeg,
him to leave against the Golden Knights.
Didn't he
And
trip over?
he's out week to week.
No, there was a Devils player who did get hit by a puck
Oh, okay.
tonight in the game in the face, but he was fine.
Yeah, I also read Brendan Dillon. He wanted to go back in the game, but the doctors would not let him. Yeah. So that kind of brings us to the playoffs. We're here. It's playoff season. There have been a few games played, but let's run through these matchups real quick, and we can give our predictions. The predictions, we all made predictions on our own before they started. So we'll just go through them one by one and just say who you think's going to win. I mean, we could talk about it, but and how many games. So starting off with the East, you've got the first place in the Metro, Washington Capitals, and they're playing the Montreal Canadiens.
I would be very surprised if Montreal wins any games in this one, honestly. I mean, with the way that Washington has been playing and the way that Ovechkin's been scoring, the team's been gelling, the way they've been coached, the way the lines have played, their goaltending, it just, I mean, it seems like a no-brainer that they're going to be the clear winners in this one. I think they might sweep them, honestly.
So Caps in 4. Okay. Cass, what do you got?
I have Washington. I think it's going to be 6 games, though. I think Montreal is going to come to play, and I feel like the Bell Center is going to be electric. And Demidov is going to score 1 or 2 huge goals.
Yeah, I'm with Cass on this one. I'm going Capitals in 6. And then that brings Amanda to, is she going to agree, disagree?
I say Caps in 5. So
Let's see. Yeah.
basically all the same.
Yeah.
Except for me.
Moving on, we've got Toronto versus Ottawa. Obviously, game 1 has been played between these two. However, like I said, we picked before. So I'll go first in being honest and transparent. I had Ottawa in 7.
I definitely chose no, I'm kidding. I had Ottawa in 6.
We all know where I'm going to stand because as a Bruins fan, I can't ever vote for Toronto. So I have Ottawa in 7, no matter what. I just hope Brady Tkachuk plays the way we all know he can, becomes a big body, becomes a bruiser, scores those greasy goals, and Allmark has to look better than he looked tonight from what I'm reading. I haven't watched any of the games,
He has not looked good.
He didn't look any bueno. So hopefully the goaltending on the other side of the ice cracks a little bit and Ottawa can get something going.
Amanda, who do you got?
Toronto in 7.
That's safe. It's going to be, I hope it gets gritty.
I think it's going to.
That's what I'm counting on.
We need more gritty. But, you know, if that one's not going to be gritty, the next one very well could be. And that is the Battle of Florida instead of the Battle of Ontario. It is the Tampa Bay Lightning against the Florida Panthers. And I believe, is Matthew Tkachuk, is he back? Has anyone heard?
I think he is, actually.
Okay.
I haven't looked. Amanda?
Yeah, for me, on this one, I've got Tampa in 6.
I've got Florida in 6. I think that they've just got a really good team. Though they haven't really been playing well towards the tail end of the season, I think that they're going to shift it into gear and make a pretty good push, unfortunately, for all of us.
What'd you say, Florida in 6, Jesse?
Yes.
So I have Florida in 7. I think Vasilevsky is going to absolutely steal a game for Tampa and force it to 7. But Florida has a couple guys coming back from injury, but they rested a couple players at the end of the year. Obviously, Tampa Bay has made those additions of Bjorkstrand and Yanni Gord again, but I just feel like Florida is just a machine you can't stop. So I'm going Florida in 7.
Amanda.
Well, I was looking for the Kachuk stuff real fast. So everything that I'm reading says he's hopeful to play for game 1.
Which is Tuesday, which is dumb.
Yeah, very dumb.
Yeah, I don't know why that one's... But anyways, he's hopeful to play. So, nothing definitive. As for my prediction, I am saying Florida in 6.
All right. I'm the lone bolt.
Yeah, that's because you are biased.
Yeah.
Moving on, our final East playoff matchup. It is the Carolina Hurricanes against the New Jersey devilishly good hockey team.
Let Amanda go first so we don't have to hear her
go ahead,
crawling over them the whole time.
I'm saying Canes in 5. I'll give the Devils one win at home for them. Look how tonight's game
Shocking.
What do you say, Jesse?
I say Canes in 6. I don't disagree with her. I'm just saying she's biased. I'm not. Maybe a little bit.
Cass, what you got?
I have to go with the Devils in 7 just because I really don't want to wear a Zamboni over my neck. Even though I think the Canes are gonna work them over pretty good. I'm hoping Markstrom can keep the Devils in it. But
if he's not too busy
or keep his own players in it.
Yeah, I know. Keep his own players. It doesn't seem like the Dillon injury was too bad. I think Dougie Hamilton's going to play a big part of this. I just don't know if they have the scoring to beat the Hurricanes.
Realistically, they need to figure out how to stop the Hurricanes' offense because they had 17 shots in the first period and 21 shots in the second period. Devils had 5 in the first and 8 in the second. They were unable to produce anything. Yeah. They were unable to stop the Carolina Hurricanes getting through the neutral zone, getting into their own zone. It just did not look good for them. Markstrom gave up 4 goals. I think was the fourth one empty net. Amanda, do you remember? Okay, so he gave up 3 goals on 45 shots. So I mean, like, that's great. That's absolutely great. But if the team's unable to stop that, you know, they're going to lose. There's no way that you could win games like that. Look at the New York Rangers all season giving up 75,000 shots. That's just how it goes.
We're done with them. We don't talk about that. Speaking of, Amanda, who scored 2 goals for you tonight?
This kid, I don't know if you guys have heard of him.
It's not Pasternak. He's not playing in this playoffs.
Speaking about bullshit, he should have got at least a couple MVP votes. But anyway, go ahead. Go ahead, Amanda. Don't let Ethan interrupt your thought process.
Ethan, do you know who it was by chance?
Yeah, it was Logan Stankoven, stud of a hockey player. Of course.
Look at that.
He has 2 more points than Mikko right now, too, right?
That's true.
Ethan,
look how well he's fitting in with Carolina.
I'm taking the Canes in 6 as well. I think New Jersey could steal 2. I think that's reasonable. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be shocked if it goes to 7, but I'm sticking with 6.
You know what I just realized? The Carolina Hurricanes could still not win an Eastern Conference final game this year, and Logan Stankoven will have won a conference final game before the Canes have since he's been in the NHL. It's wild.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the West.
Yeah. Starting off with Winnipeg and St. Louis. I believe they play tomorrow.
Again,
yeah, because they Winnipeg won game 1 yesterday.
It wasn't as close as it wasn't as far away as it looked. Winnipeg scored with like a minute and a half left in the game, and then the other two were empty netters, or the other one. So it was a close game to the end. For that matter, I'm going to take Winnipeg in 7. We know Winnipeg has struggled in the playoffs. I trust Jim Montgomery in his system, but I just think Connor Hellebuck is going to get it done for Winnipeg, and they're going to move on to round 2. Winnipeg in 7 for me.
Go Jets, go! Winnipeg in 6. Hell yeah!
Ooh, I'll go. I'm gonna go Winnipeg in 6.
Yeah, go Jets, go!
Yeah, Winnipeg in 6.
Not go Jets, go. But boo Blues, boo.
Boo
That's for
Blues, boo! That is for sure. No one wants to see Binnington have a meltdown in the second round of the playoffs.
No, we all want Binnington to look at what a good goalie looks like.
So, Ethan, if the Dallas Stars are out, will you be rooting for Jim Montgomery and the Blues?
No.
Even if
I
Tampa's
hate the
out?
Blues.
Okay, all right.
I hate the Blues. I love Jim Montgomery, but I hate the Blues.
Reasonable.
Oh, Amanda, what did you say?
Winnipeg in 6.
Winnipeg in 6. Okay, yeah. Next up, we've got the Vegas Golden Knights, everyone's favorite team, against the Minnesota Wild. I'm actually going to take Minnesota in this one in 7.
That's bold. Why?
I think it's going to be super physical, and it's going to get away from Vegas in a way they're not expecting. I think they think they're going to just steamroll over the Wild.
Assuming that the Minnesota players are able to take any sort of hits without being hurt, because their injuries all season have been
Hey, but they got healthy at the end.
Yeah, now they are
Healthy at the end.
any of those could be re-aggravated.
Do you guys really think Aiden Hill is like a top level goalie?
No, but it's Minnesota. It's not Winnipeg. It's not Edmonton. That's why I have Vegas in 5. I think Minnesota's going to win one, but I think Fleury's run is over. He's going to retire, and that's that. Vegas in 5.
Did you guys see, just because you mentioned Fleury, that they let Fleury play in overtime in the last game that they went to overtime? I think it was the last game of the season.
Yes. Yeah.
They put Fleury
Amanda,
in.
mute your mic.
I think they had already won. Yes, Amanda, please mute your mic. Thank you. They had already won at that point. They had already clinched the spot, rather. And that's why they put him in there.
It's good for him, because it's unlikely he gets a start.
It's almost like too quiet right now.
I would love to see Fleury get another cup. I think that would be awesome. Just not with Winnipeg, or not with Minnesota. So I'm going to say Vegas in 6.
It sucks too, because I really don't hate Minnesota. I like the organization. I like the GM. I actually kind of like the coach, but they're going against a juggernaut in Vegas, and that defensive core is just stacked. I mean, I know Zeev Buiem is going to be the first Minnesota Wild in franchise history to debut in the playoffs, so that might help them, but he is still a rookie no matter how sick he is in NCAA. So that's why I got Vegas in 5. Jesse, what did you have?
I said Vegas in 6.
And Amanda, unmute yourself real quick, tell us, and then go right back. Okay, Amanda had
Vegas in 7.
I was going to say they have to win in at least 4, not just 1.
Yes. All right, what's next?
The next one, you've got the Dallas Stars against the Colorado Avalanche. Obviously, a crazy rivalry that's just going to get even more heated. Do y'all want to go first?
No, you can. How was the game last night? Did you have fun? Did you enjoy it? Was it great?
Outside of getting sick halfway through the second period, which that became a real struggle. I was just trying to keep everything down. But outside of that, the game was really good. I really enjoyed watching it. It was tied up through the first period. Shots were even throughout most of the game. And yeah, I think it was an evenly matched game. I think it's kind of like the Winnipeg St. Louis game that Cass said. The score doesn't really represent the play.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado, they got 2 what I'm calling fluky goals. They go up 2-0. The Stars bounce back. Now it's a 2-1 game. The Stars got beat genuinely on the third goal. And then We pulled Ottinger, they get an empty net, 4th goal, and then the team just shut down and they scored a 5th one. So it was rough, but I haven't lost hope, and I think the Dallas Stars are going to win this one in 7.
I wonder why you would think that.
What do you think?
I mean, I genuinely, I do think that. I don't think this is over, and because we kept it so close without Jason Robertson, without Miro Heiskanen, if we push this to 6 games, they're back. And what does Colorado do then?
I think Dallas has it in 7.
Wow.
I just like giving him shit.
I think Colorado has it in 6. I think you're going to see Mackenzie Blackwood play outstanding. Colorado's depth down center is just unmatched in the NHL, maybe Vegas. With that being said, McCarr's McKinnon. Ethan, roll your eyes.
No, you're not wrong.
I just think with the injury to Jason Robertson, with Miro Heiskanen probably coming back earlier than he should because he needs to with that team the way it is, I just think Colorado's just going to be too much. That's why I have Colorado in 6. I don't think it's going to go to a 7th game where Dallas will have the opportunity to get Robinson back.
One thing I will say with the whole McCarr and McKinnon thing, there is like superstar status, especially in playoff games. I think Edmonton gets it quite a bit with Connor McDavid and McCarr and McKinnon. The Stars went on a 5-on. It was a 5-on-3.
I can hear this already.
Like 5 minutes into the game because
you complaining about the tripping call?
Yes.
Which one?
the one, I believe it was on McCarr where it like hit his shin
They were both
pad.
on McCarr, so was it the first one or the second one? The
I
one right
believe
next
it
to
was
the blue line?
No, it was
one?
in by the boards.
Yes, that one was bullshit. I will 100% agree with you. The second one was not.
Correct. Did you see the McKinnon high stick double
No,
minor?
I was asleep.
Okay, so what happened, and I've never seen this happen, and I didn't look at the rule book, so I can't say for sure if you can or can't do it, but McKinnon was behind his own net. The play leaves the zone and goes down into the Stars' end, and McKinnon's just standing back behind the goal with sticks everywhere, and a ref's standing next to him, and he's looking at McKinnon while play goes down the ice. They blow the whistle for the injury. He's bleeding through his nose, and no ref had a call on it. And then they issued a double minor for high sticking, which was crazy. I've never seen it happen.
I thought the new rule was that they could look at that for a double minor.
If it was called.
If it was called,
then it's
yeah.
If they blow it dead, it's getting blown dead for a call, I would assume.
No, it was getting blown dead because he wasn't continuing to play. So they had to wait for Colorado to have offensive control in their zone.
That is weird. Yeah.
It was awful.
Amanda, what do you got?
I have Colorado in 7.
Okay, you can mute her.
Brutal. Brutal.
I'm just kidding. It's okay.
I'm not.
I'll take it. Last but not least, we've got the LA Kings versus the Edmonton Oilers. Again, the Oilers are without Matthias Ekholm. Draisaitl and McDavid have struggled with some injuries. So for that reason, and LA has home ice advantage, which they were one of the best, if not the best, team in the league. Yeah. So I'm taking the LA Kings in 6.
I will double that and say LA Kings in 6. I think the injuries are just too much for Edmonton to overcome. I also think that Stuart Skinner is not going to play that well, and he's going to struggle. Darcy Kemper has found a new home in LA, and he has been basically lights out this year. And I think Phil Deneau is going to be able to keep either Connor McDavid and or Leon Draisaitl at bay, especially when they're coming back from an injury. And I don't think you'll see Evander Kane or Trent Frederick, at least until game 6 or 7, so they will not matter in this series.
And Evander Kane hasn't played in forever.
Yeah, he hasn't played at all this season, has he?
Yeah. But they're saying he's close to return.
Really? Huh. I'm going to go with the Kings as well, but I think they'll get it done in 7. They have been, unfortunately, very good this season. They've been insane at home. I think that this is going to be the year that they're going to be able to overcome the way that Edmonton has treated them in the last couple of seasons in the playoffs. I think the LA Kings have got it.
Who knows the LA Kings names coach's name off the top of the head.
God, I forget it.
Because I knew it wasn't McClellan, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not Todd McClellan.
Jim Hiller.
Jim Hiller, that's right. Yes. Now I remember now that you mentioned
he's
it.
doing something right. I mean,
well,
I do.
Go ahead.
I do think LA they need to win, because for them to win in 6, which is my call, they're gonna have to win one game in Edmonton to do that. And I think if they can get that game 3 won and go up 3-0, that's it. It could be game 4 though. Then it's like 2-1. Yeah.
So I'm gonna throw kind of a random question out there, but
Wait, what was Amanda's pick?
Oh, we didn't care. Go ahead, hurry up.
Kings in 6.
So dejected.
Anyway, do we all agree that Spencer Carberry should win the Coach of the Year?
I've said this. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to kind of do some kind of a tangent here. Take him out of the equation. Who's your Coach of the Year?
Jim Montgomery.
Really?
Or give me the other 2 finalists you think it'll
be. The way Jim Montgomery turned the Blues around from December until the end of the season, they were like one of the last teams in the league. And then Jim Montgomery's my next pick. I'll have to think of another one.
Who's in Minnesota right now?
Hines.
I think Hines could be one. And Hiller.
So I'm going Dean Evans. Oh, I don't know, like St. Louis. Though.
I was thinking Dean Evison too, but with them not making the playoffs, I mean, I know that they came very, very close, but with them not making it, I kind of think that knocks them down. But I know it's regular season too, so
I'm gonna go St. Louis and Hiller.
I like St. Louis. I think that's a good one.
No one had Montreal.
No.
Even close.
No. And Montreal almost didn't even come close.
And Hiller, I don't know. Like, even though we all expected LA to be good, I don't think we expected them to be that good, and that home record is just wild. So
I think I'll go Dean Evison for my second pick. Montgomery and Evison. Because, aside from nearly making the playoffs, he navigated that locker room in such a clutch way for everything they went through.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a good pick. I wouldn't be upset about it.
Amanda, who do you have?
Not Rod.
Brenda Moore.
No.
She's not talking.
Okay. Last question, unless anyone has anything else. Who's the next coach to be fired?
I'm waiting to see if Nashville's gonna just stick to it.
I think they're going to. I think that they're going to try and keep everybody together as best as possible. Maybe try and figure it out in the offseason by adding a couple pieces. I don't think Brunette's going to go anywhere. If they are able to get something going at the beginning of the season, then it would make Barry Trotz look very, very smart. But if not, then I would give him at least a month or 2 before they make any sort of decision on that one.
I think the answer is kind of obvious. I don't really count the Bruins because it's an interim thing. I don't know if it'd really be a firing if he doesn't have a contract. But I think it's Lindy Ruff. The way the Buffalo shit the bed.
I don't know. They just like making bad decisions.
I don't know. I just think he's the next one out.
That would be a smart move. And that's not Buffalo hockey.
That's definitely not how the Sabres operate.
But it might be both. It might be Kevin Adams and Lindy Ruff. See you later.
Yeah. I did. No,
I was just gonna say they got to do something in fucking Buffalo, dude. Because what is it? 18 seasons without a playoff run? Like, figure it out, man.
I did have one question because they were talking about this on NHL Network Radio as well, and it piqued my interest. And I think I might be the only one who likes this, but let me see what you guys think. So, they've talked about wanting to get the Stanley Cup awarded earlier this season. But then you look at the schedule, you've got teams playing game 1, Florida and Tampa. They're not starting till Tuesday. By that time, some teams will be on game 3s. And it doesn't seem like they're rushing through this. So here's the concept. Kind of like the NBA. You've got 8 teams from each conference, right? And then you give those 8 teams, like the teams in the playoffs right now, they don't start until Monday, right? And then during the in-between time of the regular season and the playoffs beginning, you have a small play-in bracket where the 2 teams from each conference that were seed 9, seed 10 will play each other in like a 2-game matchup or 3-game matchup, and best of 3 gets to go on.
So does that
Or it
mean,
would have to be 4 teams.
does that mean the first overall seed in each conference gets a bye? Because you can't have 9 teams in a playoff unless you're having 8 and 9 play each other.
I think it would be maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's the wild cards and 9 and 10.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it would be cool.
Yeah, because the way the NBA does it, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's 8, 9, 10, and 11 play, and I think that the one team that comes out on top basically gets in. I'm pretty sure, but no one cares because that league sucks.
I'm very adamant about leaving the playoffs alone. So
yeah, I don't have. I mean, if they go to 34 teams, maybe do something
Leave 'em
for that
alone.
last thing. But so hold on, I need to get answers from you guys. Who do you think the next coach is gone? That sounded like you burped.
No, sorry. I don't. Someone else go. I'm making noises.
Amanda?
Sullivan.
Ooh, good one.
Ooh.
Look at the reverse standings. I mean, you got what? Patrick Waugh. You got
he's got to
Burnett.
go. It's got to be him, right? I mean,
I don't know.
dude, he has made such bad decisions the entire time he's been there.
Well, I
It's
mean,
gotta
if they
be
didn't
him.
fire him after pulling the goalie with a defensive end face-off,
They should have.
then they're not firing him.
Oh my god, what an awful decision that was.
I was all about it too. I feel like a donkey.
You were all about it. I remember that. Yeah, it's gonna. I think it's gonna be him. Why do they still have him?
I'll go
Either him or the dude in Utah.
Andre
really?
Trigny or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Give me Ryan Warsofsky, whatever, the San Jose Sharks.
Didn't they just get rid of David Quinn though?
Yeah, last year. That's okay.
Yeah.
Amanda, before we get done, do you have your 2 other picks for Coach of the Year? Because I need to make some graphics. We'll see if I have time for it. Okay.
Cool.
I'll get back to you on that.
Cool.
Great. Way to pay attention.
Well, that's it for us. Yeah, right. I'm not going to be here next week, so
I don't think any of us are. I
Yeah.
think that's the plan. We will let you know.
Well, you could figure it out. Amanda will have fun streaming on her own.
Ooh, real quick. Tom brought up a good point for Coach of the Year. Scarred O'Neal in Winnipeg. I mean, they're good. We didn't think they'd be that good.
I don't think. I mean, they were good with bonus last year too. So I mean, I don't really think that that's a step up. I don't think that that's Arneal's doing.
Yeah.
As much as I do with Carberry in Washington. You know what I mean? Because I know he was with them last season, but this season is a complete 180 from what they were last season. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with Carberry.
It's funny that the Washington fans bringing up Winnipeg, but
Right?
that's all. So, all right.
You know, I do want to give one thought out answer, and I didn't want to give it because I don't think it's going to happen. But, what's his name? Dan Bilsma
in Seattle. Yeah.
Yeah, I
didn't
think
like
he
him.
should, but I think they tried this whole thing out. The expectation was the team was going to get better, and I think they got slightly worse.
I think they got slightly worse too.
They suck. Sorry, Alan.
I didn't like that decision to pick him up, but
I do think
whatever.
they'll give him another season though.
I think they will too. It would be foolish of them if they let him go now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Jessica Campbell, head coach. Hey, let's try it.
I wouldn't hate
Why
that. I
not?
like her. Anyway, I think that's it for us this week. We're not going to be here next
gonna be
week,
it.
right? Collective decision, right? Yes.
Sounds
Okay.
like
Yeah.
it.
Anyway, figure it out. You guys will figure it out. You can catch
We'll
us.
probably
on,
be back for round 2.
Where will you be?
You can catch us on. I'm going to be away, not here. You can catch us on Twitter, X at Top Shelf Dusters, or Facebook.com/CrashTheNetHockey. You can email us topshelfdusters@gmail.com. Cass sucks. I hate him very much. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.